Please help me welcome the amazing Randy!
I have an announcement before I begin, ladies and gentlemen. This may be a disappointment to the majority of the audience here, but due to the inclement weather and the fire regulations, I will not be doing my naked dance on the fire. I know this is a great disappointment, but I'll try to make up for it with something else. I find this a very strange circumstance. A gentleman named Rick Perry, you may know the name. Rick Perry, oh please, no opinions in advance. I must say that Rick Perry, some time ago, because of a drought, he felt that it was necessary to pray for rain. He didn't get it, but we did, and we didn't pray for it. So there. That proves something, I think. I don't quite know what, but I'll work on it. Now, as a skeptic, I must admit that I'm not always as well received as I have been here today. I appeared before the public with my message on college and university campuses all over the world, and when I'm asked by a potential attendee as to exactly where I'll be speaking, I sometimes tell them, just listen very carefully. Listen carefully, and you will hear angry murmurings. You will hear the sound of scythes and pitchforks clashing together, and you'll see torchlight. I'll be there. Or have you never seen that 1935 film, The Bride of Frankenstein? Wonderful film. And I relate to it very closely, I assure you. This event, this rally, is very much centered on the secular point of view, of course. And I'm very firmly of the opinion that the greater part of the confusion that presently exists concerning rationality and reason is directly due to the persistent influence of religion. However, I'd like to deal with the greater general problem that now faces us. Beginning about the year 1700 or so, what we know as the Enlightenment brought about the application of rationality to all questions and problems. Thinkers and writers became free to pursue the truth however they wished without threats of sanction for violating established ideas. Sadly, the Enlightenment, it appears, is now over and done with. Those of us who are courageous enough to reject superstition, false authority, dogma, and wishful thinking have yet to recover from our previous administration's science-bashing philosophy. Isn't that true? Now, centers of learning have kowtowed to popular delusions by embracing ideas that do not survive proper examination in any way. They offer courses in poor thinking, and such acceptance also implies their endorsement. Many people no longer think for themselves, but surrender that process to the media and to the opportunists who happily fleece them as a result. Religion rules minds as it did when witch burning and angels seemed to be viable and believable notions. Millions of law enforcement authorities, social services, science teachers, medical practitioners, and politicians actually believe, ladies and gentlemen, despite overwhelming contrary evidence, that our Earth is only 6,000 years old. And that a malevolent deity, thanks a lot, brings floods, pestilence, and suffering to those who he, she, or it, whatever, chooses to hate, but rewards others who make themselves into human bombs. How delightful. This sort of belief has invaded the highest levels of the media, government, and the teaching professions. But how did such a widespread desertion of common sense and fact ever come about? Why? Because it's so much easier to have a simplistic view. Little or no thinking is required. Those who surround you will tolerate you if you simply don't speak up, and all you'll have to do is to allow the yahoos to take over while staying out of their way. Be careful, they do stampede every now and then. The woo-woos are active anti-science elements, but they're not nearly as dangerous to our security as those centers of higher learning who try to justify the awarding of science degrees in subjects that are anti-science in every respect. The truth of what they teach is not based on fact, but on emotion, tradition, and convenience. It's now become politically incorrect to question things like this. Enormous harm has been done to science by emphasizing quantity of data over quality, and at the extremes, fraud and fakery over honest and hard, consistent intellectual work. Happily, science has self-correcting mechanisms built in so that mistakes and the occasional bit of fakery are eventually automatically eliminated. Left to itself, science has created and shaped much of the world in which we live, but constant vigilance can never be relaxed, or the woo-woos can and will move in permanently.